That committee, led by Republican Congressman Trey Gowdy, is going to need a lot of money to continue the investigation into exactly what happened in Benghazi, in which a U.S. ambassador and 3 other Americans were killed. It looks like they're going to need about $3.3 million for investigation and staffers and other necessities to conduct that investigation. And that's also more than what was given to the Veteran Affairs Committee overseeing the investigation into what happened at VA medical facilities across the country. Now, according to a committee document provided to the USA Today by House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, the budget office was going to need about $2.2 million for 7 Republican lawmakers and their staffs and their investigative needs, and an additional $1 million for Democrats on that committee, and there are 5 of them. In contrast, the House VA Committee, Veterans Affairs Committee, and Ethics Committee were each granted $3 million for the entire year of 2014. And there's a new contender rather, for the presidential election in 2016. If you listen to one Republican congressman from Utah, Congressman Jason Chaffetz says, yes, it's going to be Mitt Romney throwing his hat back in the ring. But Romney, of course, again has said over and over that he will not run. But the Utah congressman isn't buying it.
100 times he says he's not, but Mitt Romney has always accomplished what he set out to do. I think he's proven right on a lot of stuff. I happen to be in the camp that thinks that he's actually going to run, and I think he will be the next president of the United States.
Yeah, we also talked about some poll numbers that show a lot of Americans have voters' remorse not voting for Mitt Romney. We'll see, of course, and probably have to wait until after the 2014 midterms before we get any official announcement on presidential contenders. Now we turn our attention over to the Middle East. These women are supporters of Hamas, and they are demanding Israel release prisoners belonging to that militant group. The women held pictures of Hamas prisoners and waved Palestinian and Hamas flags. Palestinian police stopped these protests and prevented the women from marching in the streets. Of course, this is part of the overall problems over there in the Middle East, and Israel is calling this latest round of strikes Operation Protective Edge. This morning in Hamas-controlled Gaza, people woke up to destroyed homes after Israel continued its counteroffensive after a barrage of rocket attacks by Palestinian militants. Nearly 300 rockets and mortars have been fired at Israel in recent weeks by those militants. Israel's military struck at least 50 sites in Gaza. Now to New York City, more police are going to be out on the street and not sitting behind desks. More than 300 officers are going to leave those desk jobs and start patrolling high-crime neighborhoods. This aggressive initiative is dubbed Operation Summer All Out. Officials responding to increases of violence like gunfights like you see right here in this video, but saying this is not a direct result of higher crime in the Big Apple. Now we turn our attention to the other coast, and it's legal in Washington state. Not legal federally, but in that state, today select retail stores are opening their doors so they can sell marijuana to recreational users.
We definitely are anticipating that it probably will run out the first day.
Very little supply there in Washington state. High demand. Officials gave 12 stores early notice so they could stock their shelves. Places of business saying that wasn't enough time exactly. It's expected that over 300 stores are eventually going to open. 100 stores are eventually going to open across the state. Of course, Washington state joins Colorado as a place where it is now legal for recreational users.